What's up, guys? Today I'm coming at you with a review of Kenny Chesney's new single, Get Along. This is a song that was written by Shane McAnally, Ross Copperman, and Josh Osborne. They've been, those three of the biggest writers and producers in all of Nashville. A lot of them have worked a lot with Casey Musgraves, but they wrote this song for Kenny Chesney called Get Along. Just by the title alone, it kind of reminds me of Kenny Chesney, what he tried to come back with like maybe 2 years ago, the song called Noise. Maybe it was just last year and it didn't quite work, but it was this idea that like we're all getting stuck in this noise and can't we get along? And I think maybe in the same trend as Luke Bryan's Most People Are Good, Kenny Chesney's trying to get us all to get along because, you know, we're all so divided if you are to believe the media in this country. And honestly, I don't think we're all that divided 99% of the time. I feel like we all get along pretty well. But, hey, this is the popular narrative in country music right now, and I actually like this song. Again, I've heard this already, so not a true reaction, but I want to go through it. I think it's actually really helpful to go through the song piece by piece and kind of talk about it as we go. So, let's do that. I have everything queued up here, and hopefully, volume-wise, everything is correct. I like the acoustic guitar in the beginning. I think it sounds super nice. So he's painting a scene. I like immediately the first lines. I met a man wearing a t-shirt that says Virginia is for lovers. That is our state motto. I'm here in Charlottesville, Virginia. He had a Bible in his left hand and a bottle in the other. So I just actually talked about this on the Scotty McCreery song where it's like I'm a little bit Jim Beam, a little bit holy water. This is like such a country trope. If you're going to mention something religious, mention alcohol. You got to do it. That's how they paint, you know, an even-keeledness. I like the harmony on these. So this is a confusing thing. So I guess he just meets a man. It sounds like he meets a crazy person on the street. He's got this shirt that says Virginia, a Bible, a bottle. He says, all you're given is the sunshine in your name. And so then they just start laughing and the sky starts to rain. You gotta love this chorus. It's like a bar sing-along. Okay, so that's the chorus. It's a very Shane McAnally chorus, and I'm not a hater of Shane McAnally. I am not the biggest fan of things like this or the song Female or John Cougar, John Deere, John 3:16 or man, there's a myriad examples, but that just sort of list things, and like a Pinterest board, you are supposed to kind of get the vibe of like, okay, so these are just like nice things that you could do. It's kind of like Most People for Good in that way. You know, paint a wall, call your mom, buy a boat, learn to dance, drink a beer. I don't know. I get what it's doing here. It's saying, can't we all just get along and do these things? And in some ways, I think that's a really prescient message in the social media age. Just go outside, just go do something. We can all get along. And so I actually really like that about it. But I don't think it's the most sophisticated writing, but it is very fun. Kind of I think the shouting that's coming from behind on Kenny's voice is super fun in this song. And it does feel like, I mean, you're at a bar. I would imagine that's the video. There's going to be people like holding up pina coladas on the beach because it's a Kenny Chesney video and getting along. So I like it for what it is. Second verse right here. Here's where I start to get confused. He sees a model on a billboard and is like, is she lonely? Is she okay? Did she leave her hometown thinking she'd end up in LA? Did she break down in the desert and get stuck beside the highway? Get lost. And then we're back to the chorus. This to me is the most confusing part of this song. It feels like they accidentally put the wrong verse in here. It's a really interesting question, and I think everyone's had that thought when you think about, I don't know, someone that's provocatively posed or someone that's working in pornography that, you know, I don't want to get all like weird here, but I think everyone's had that thought of saying, like, who is that person? That person has like a mother and a father. That person has a whole life, and are they okay? And are they lonely? And that's interesting, but it's not the same sort of vibe of community and caring for each other that the rest of the song is. It's just kind of this existential question of like, I don't know, it doesn't really present a conflict, and it doesn't really present this moment of human connection between people, unless he's getting along with this image on the billboard, but it doesn't really work to me. But it's okay. It kind of reminds me of, if you guys listen to the Avett Brothers, and you should, they're my very favorite band. They have a song called True Sadness that's incredible, and it's sort of an ode to friendship. And it also has a sort of random verse in the bridge of that song where it says, you know, isn't this girl more than the shine on her lips, or the curve of her hips? And it's kind of like this. So maybe this is just a moment of existential wandering that we sometimes have. And maybe the solution is to get along with others. Or maybe I'm overthinking it and it's just kind of not the best written verse. I don't know. It's a good song, guys. Like, from a melodic standpoint. And I think the fact that the chorus goes on, like, it's not just 4 lines, then 4 lines, it's 4 lines, then 6 lines. You'd think would end here. And then the instruments cut out. Super effective. Yeah, and I think it's a really tasteful instrumentation on this song. I like how it's produced. I like the little guitar. And then we get a little bit of plucking. I don't know what that is, if that's like a... Sounds just like a guitar. Okay. Help me with this line. We find out when you die, the keys to heaven can't be bought. We still don't know what love is, but we sure know what it's not. So the second line seems to be a response to this election year, or last year's election year. But we know what it looks like to not love each other and to talk past each other and to say horrible things and to do bad things to each other. We all know what love is not. That kind of makes sense. And this is like as political as a big country star is really going to be able to get. And honestly, I'm not saying he should get more political than that. But the first line is what's weird here. We find out when you die, the keys to heaven can't be bought. Okay. So I think it's saying that... Isn't it confusing? When you die, you realize that the keys to heaven can't be bought. So even if you were rich and you had tried to buy them, you can't do that. So I guess it's saying that it's not your wealth that determines if you're a good person or not. Okay, kind of a random line. Let's keep going. Sometimes you got to get along down the road. We got a long way to go. Scared to live. You guys get it. I'll just dance here till the end. Call your mom, buy a boat. What a line. Not into that. I just feel like they could have come up with better things that are more about getting along. Like, what are other phrases that we could have done that were more about actually getting along? Like, call your mom, that works. You know, like, give a toast. Call your mom, like, I don't know, drink a beer. Singing a song, that can be communal. Painting a dance. But, like, lending a hand. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what I want in this. But I just don't think that it is the most poetic of songs. But it is an extremely fun song to listen to. So for that reason, I'm going to give this 6 beards out of 10. I like it. And I think it sounds really nice. But lyric nerd Grady wants a little more. And I feel like that's been the case on a number of Kenny Chesney records at this point. But it's all good. Kenny's going to do what Kenny does. And he makes a crap ton of money and sells out stadiums. So I sort of get it. But it does bum me out sometimes that when you reach like the zenith in country music, you just kind of make pleasant music that is inoffensive to everyone. And but I don't know why. Maybe I just like dark things. Okay. I've talked enough. 6 out of 10 from me. What do you give it? What do you want to hear next? I'll see you guys. Bye.